On 8 March 2024, the Honorable Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services presided over the launch of the National ICT Policy. And she presided over our Smart Zimbabwe Master Plan, Broadband Plan, a modular ICT lab, and even the laying of 1,500 of our fiber cable connection within the country. At that event, the Honorable Minister said our visionary leader and president, H.E.E.D. Mnangagwa, said young people should leapfrog the country into effective adoption of ICTs, henceforth lead the transformative agenda for Zimbabwe. This is a loaded and very profound statement. If we, the foot soldiers, could do the needful to make the preservation a reality, then Zimbabwe will begin to move forward in this transformative agenda. The key for Zimbabwe's ICT's transformative agenda is the young people. That is what the president said. I would like to announce that the young people referred to above are in the age group 8 to 20 years old. Worldwide, we see that these are the people bringing transformation in the ICT sector. Later in the presentation, we will see the exploits of Patrick Collison and his brother John in the ICT domain, how they took their first computer course at 8 years old, started programming at 10 years, co-founded a company, and within 13 years, they grew it up to $65 billion within 13 years. These are the youth, and they are already making an impact in the ICT domain. If the formative years of a child's development are in the age group 1 year to 10 years, then we need to be deliberate about creating meaningful opportunities for our children in the formative years of their lives to connect with activities that put a demand on their creativity and also stretch them to utilize their intellect to the maximum. Many of us marvel at how children start to use social gadgets. They pick up the gadget, they swipe up, swipe down, swipe sideways, and wait to get a response from the gadget. Meanwhile, I am Googling to find out how the gadget works. So being a digital immigrant, I consider myself tech savvy because I can use Google. Meanwhile, my 3-year-old grandson says I can swipe up, swipe left, swipe right, swipe down, swipe across, and look and see how the gadget will respond to me. So now I want to share the story of the Stripe brothers. And it's really innovate to enter. Because only youth can drive the ICT transformation that we desire to see. This exhibition is testimony to the benefit of having a mindset to evolve and a mindset to innovate in order to survive.
Technology owes ecology an apology. I always say that ecology created technology and now we can't control it. If we get to your house, to your place, we find you busy on your phone, your wife busy on the phone. That's why these coffee making machines and washing machines and automatic microwaves and so forth, they found their ways into small houses, even one room, one coffee making machine, because they are busy with technology. They will be glued down on technological things, and we can't stop technology. We know we created it. Digital Darwinism says that the organizations that respect to join the technological bandwagon do that at their own peril. You ignore to join technology at your own peril, and they go further and they say you get to extinction if you don't join the digital divide, if you don't join the cyber platform, if you don't join, you're doing it at your own peril. If you're an organization, you get to extinction. And I'm very happy that Combilink have decided to say, guys, we're going to go through the evolution process for technology to make sense. We must know that if it evolves, it will last. It will have a base and it will continually grow and not fall or sink. Thank you, Kombilink, for that. CRM has become the business of every organization that has got customers. Your customer relationship management portal is fundamental. We are now getting into an era where we are competing on service. We are no longer doing order taking. We are winning the order by virtue of the way we deliver service to the people using technology. So your CRM must be up to date. You must know your customer, your KYC, your instant response, your turnaround time to address customer concerns. Only does that if you are secure. If you are not secure, everything goes for investigation. Digital transformation. Many organizations may not understand why cybersecurity awareness is important or corporate governance if you are not taking the digital transformation. In other words, automate, leave manual, go automating. I see my banks, which approve a loan, which does my signature. Just go digital. Go digital, get the digitally analyzing tools, and you are there. You cannot evolve and get involved in the evolution of ICT technology that we require our youngsters to take over unless you partake in this. So Zimbabwe has got what they call NDS1. I went through it, and they target to increase the internet penetration rate from 59%. I'm sure they are now well over 50%.
This gathering represents a crucial milestone in our journey towards harnessing the power of technology to drive economic growth, foster innovation, and improve the lives of all Zimbabweans and Africans. Zimbabwe is our home, and the solutions to building a digitally connected nation come from us ourselves. A nation is built by its own. And in Shona they say, Nika. And in Ndebele they say, Ilizwe. You know, after His Excellency, our President, taught us this. For me, those were some of the very few words that I began to know in Ndebele. Ilizwe lakiwa labanika Zimbabwe. A nation is built by its own. And we believe that we are there to build our Zimbabwe. We are there to build the digital space that we want. We want to thank you for all the innovations, for everything that you have done towards making sure that you are there to shape and be able to also upgrade and also move the digital landscape to where you want it to be. So indeed, we really want to thank you for that. Our president has been very clear. He has said that let us build our Zimbabwe. He has been very clear, let us digitalize Zimbabwe. For us to digitalize Zimbabwe, it takes us as people of Zimbabwe to be able to make sure that we push this. For us to be able to push the narrative and be able to make sure that we assist our president in achieving this vision. It doesn't need us to sit at the periphery. It needs us to get involved for us to be able to achieve this. As we embark on this momentous occasion, it is imperative that we reflect on the immense potential that lies within this. We need to also realize that a digital economy has emerged as a powerful force for change, reshaping industries and also transcending boundaries. Central to our vision, we have got what we're calling the National Broadband Plan, a strategic roadmap which we believe is there to expand access to high-speed internet connectivity across our nation. Recognizing that access to broadband is not just a luxury, but a fundamental right. We are committed to bridging the digital divide and ensuring that every Zimbabwean has access to the tools and the resources that they need to thrive in the digital age. Complementing our efforts is also the National ICT Policy, which we believe is a comprehensive framework that sets out our strategic objectives and priorities for the years ahead. This policy underscores our commitment to us fostering an environment that is conducive and also innovative, which also is there to make sure we propel investment and entrepreneurship by promoting digital literacy, strengthening cybersecurity, and enhancing the regulatory environment, we are laying the foundation of a vibrant and dynamic ICT sector that drives economic growth and creates jobs. There is a saying which says, no matter how much you push, there are things that take time. I'll tell you a very good example that we know it. If you want to give birth, it has to be 9 months. Yes, of course, you can say premature, yes, can be 7, can be 8, but as much as you can push, everything takes time. There are some things which naturally take time. And indeed, I'm saying, one thing that we need to be able to appreciate and understand is that for CompuLink to be where it is today, is time. And it's a vision which was given birth and now has to move on. And I really want to thank you for having this vision and continuously pushing for you to be able to make sure that you also complement the efforts that government has. And this we greatly appreciate, for we know that with your collaboration, with you also making sure that you push, we'll be able to get to the Zimbabwe that we want.
We have just been told by the Permanent Secretary in Kenya, they are developing solutions for Kenyans. And we need Zimbabweans to develop solutions for Zimbabweans. It means that we need to break down the doors of mediocrity wherever we are and seek the best solutions for our nation, for our land. So let us break down those doors. And when we go into innovation, it must be best fit for purpose. It must be sustainable. It must be able to add value. And this is something that we always talk about in Econet. We must add value, because without adding value, we are wasting our time. Another statement of fact, my brothers and sisters, God is the owner of this universe. In fact, I get goosebumps if each time I look into space and I look into the Milky Way galaxy, I see the galaxies are even more. They run into billions, but they all belong to God. And in fact, Psalm 24 verse 2 reminds us, the Lord is the earth is the Lord's, and all that is in it, including us who dwell in it. So there is an owner who controls the universe, who controls the earth. And we need to align ourselves with this owner, because he is the one who has empowered us. I love this quotation. The world is endless. The universe is inexhaustible. And in fact, the human brain will never be threatened with unemployment. When I saw this quotation, I said, what does this guy mean? It means when you are threatened with unemployment, you have allowed laziness to creep into your own life, because there is so much to do. What are we saying? We are saying unemployment is a limitation of the mind. And so I really agree with this statement. And so I'm told that even as we go throughout the country, there are so many resources that we can tap into to develop our nation. And ICT is an enabler. What we are gathering here for, the ICT Evolve Summit, is an enabler for us to create wealth. So Africa has been positioned very well all along, until you get to the last two columns. And my brothers and sisters, this is what has made me angry personally. Global wealth. We are number 6. In other words, we close the door. Why? And then when it comes to GDP per capita, we are number 6. Called the poorest continent. And yet we are the richest continent. How do you marry those two? Ladies and gentlemen, this is what has made me angry. And in my own individual capacity, I've said, I'm going to shake my own life. Starting with me, I'm not going to blame anyone. I'm going to my own village where I was born, and I'm going to shake my fellow villagers to say, hey, let's wake up and do something, because we are sitting on the best continent on planet Earth. And yet, our statistics, they show closing the door. At Econet, we are seeing our role is that of driving technology. So we are partnering with you, my brother Edward, for economic development of our land, our nation. Why? Because governments worldwide are working on advancing digital inclusion, recognizing the transformative power that it has got. This is according to the GSMA. So we've said we must let the light shine. Number 1, infrastructure development. From 1998, we have been planting infrastructure into this nation, and we have spent about $2 billion up to today, putting towers, transmission network, fiber, the switches. So we believe in this land as Econet, and we have said, let's continue to invest. As we speak, we are continuing to put more base stations across the land. I know that access to resources has not been easy, but we have said we cannot stop on infrastructure development. Keep the light shining. Secondly, digital connectivity. We must connect people to people, people to business, business to business. This connectivity is critical, and we see it as our mandate as Econet to do.
I want to start the panel discussion on the basis of we've had the challenges. We've had probably what we ought to do. I'm just going to present to all of you, each one within a minute, to summarize, to then say, what is it that is making us fail, or what is it that is making us not go beyond what we know we should go beyond? What are those key hindrances, and what do we need to do immediately? Because we've talked about this morning. We can meet as a conference, talk. I think Dr. Bowen also said the same this morning. All talk, and all talk is nothing without action. But we need action. So what is that factor that is hindering us to get into action? I ask you, Dr.
Thank you. I think there may be many things that we need to do, and different people will focus on different things. But for me, it's really a lack of value on our youth and on those people who are carrying the creative minds. Maybe we begin to treat people seriously. It could be a cultural thing when they become 30 or 40, but by then they have really lost their creative age group of really their formative age group of 8 years to 15 years, and their productive age group, which could be from 15 years to about 30. And so I think there is an inclusion we need to make, which appreciates the creative capacity of our youth. And I was hearing about starting hubs and starting situations that would really equip our youth to be productive in industry, not just to do academic programs, but to become relevant in industry. And I think that's one area where we can begin to make progress.
Thank you. For me, I think the leaky pipeline is on the education system. I think we really need to panel beat the way we are teaching our students so as to catch them young. We can't sit now at a summit and say, where are the women in ICT? I think we need to catch them young when they're students. And we are very good in terms of the booky ideas. Our curriculum is perfect. We have ICT from preschool, from ECD already. If you look at the books and the training that is available, the content is there. But we need a practical approach to this. We need a practical approach. We need the students to know how to apply this theory that is perfect into life. And I love the theme of the summit, lead with vision. Just the idea of leading. All the technologies that we're trying to embrace, and we are catching up. In everything we're doing, we're trying to catch up. But if we catch them young, we are going to lead. Let us lead in ICT by taking our theory and putting practical actions to it. I also like the idea of creating the ecosystems. We need the ecosystems where, you know, the enthusiasts, those who want to join the ICT wagon, they know where to go as young people. And I think the other problem is we're not telling our stories enough. So we might have the young people like what my fellow speaker was saying. They are there, the young people who are interested, but where do they go? Who are the leaders? You know, let's tell the stories. Let's tell Simon's story. Let's get it out there. Let's tell our stories and inspire the next generation of leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For Dr. Rakanda, yours is shifted. I want us to shift yours a little bit. Let's focus on the security side, right? On the security side, more specifically, in other words, what are those things from your experience that have been the hampering factors as we evolve and as we put these new systems in place? Are we adopting the right security systems in place within our entities or as a country? What are the gaps, and what do you think we really need to do to jump ourselves? Because a lot of the times that security budget is a very low budget that we spend. Our budget spent on security systems is very low. But you are being a security advocate, the practicality of it now.
I would say that particularly looking at Zimbabwe, there is a lack of what I call digital inclusion. There are silos. Those that sell gadgets or access devices wants to push them. They don't explain things that will make the usage of them or the software that is used on them remain secure. Those that sell software, they also do not tell the end users some software security issues. One example would be the devices that are being sold for cloud computing. If you try to access those in Zimbabwe, it's free for all. So it goes back to what Stella was saying, that there is need for awareness training around security, and with practical examples. There is a term that they call homomorphic security, FHE. What that means is that data or information is passed from point A to point B and it's processed without being decrypted. But we cannot even get to that level in this country because the basics of security, we do not understand them. So there's need for a lot of what I would call digital inclusion, and involve everyone from the initial stage so that they understand that using data, having access devices, staying on the digital platform, working and playing on cyber is good, but what matters more is security. And we need to start thinking about security the same way we think about security for a security guard at our gate. That every record, everything that is supposed to be recorded or protected is protected. Like I said yesterday, that in Zimbabwe you get them advertising in the newspaper requesting for an expression of interest for people to come and do VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. How do you do that? How do you advertise to thieves and everyone else to say, come and check whether our keys are working? We don't know whether our door is locked, so come and tell us. And then you put an advert in the paper. The whole governance process, the cyber security management, your information security assets, programs, the resilience structure is not there. That is done by people who don't understand the effect of that. And we see this quarterly, banks, the government, retailers, forget it, it's now a thing of the past. You need to have specific organizations that you have a relationship with, like audit firms do on auditing, and they know when they are supposed to come and do a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. That's one example where we don't understand security.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.